I'm Antoinette Mills. I'm the Media and Systems Development Manager at the Case Centre, and we're really pleased to welcome you to this webinar today. We're delighted to be partnering with Brands Whispering to bring you the webinar, and I'd like to welcome you to what we hope will be an inspiring and informative 60 minutes. So in terms of the running order, in a moment I'll hand over to Vardar, who'll be leading the webinar. Nuket is an owner of an edtech company, El Izzy, which is based in London in the UK. She's an academic and a practitioner in international marketing and international advertising. And at the moment, her current focus is developing her new teaching tool, Brands Whispering, for the international market. So after Nuket has talked to you a bit more about her materials, I'll show you how to find them on our website and make sure that you're all set up to use them in class. At the end, we'll have a Q&A session, so you can ask Nuket or myself any questions that you might have. Now I have got you all on mute because we're quite a big group today. So if you have any questions as the webinar goes on, please feel free to pop them in the chat, and Nuket and I will address them after we finish speaking towards the end of the webinar. Just to let you know, we are recording the webinar as well, so we'll send you a follow-up email tomorrow which will include a link to the video, so don't feel like you need to take lots of notes while it's going on. You'll have the video as a reference point, and we'll also send you some links to the materials tomorrow. So I'm going to hand over to Nuket, who should hopefully be joining us now. Here she is, and Nuket will take you through the information about Brands Whispering. Here you go, Nuket.
Hello, from London. My name is Nuket Vardar. First of all, I would like to thank you for joining us in this webinar, and also a great big thank you to the Case Centre, the team, and especially to Antoinette for making this webinar come true. I'll share my slides with you now. All right. Before we go any further, I would like to actually go over the agenda very briefly. I'll introduce myself first of all, and then a little bit about Brands Whispering, how the idea of Brands Whispering came about. Then we will be mostly talking about Brands Whispering as a standalone teaching material. I've got two different cases, video cases for you today. We will be just watching bits and pieces of it in order to be able to have an understanding about the product, together with the different types of teaching notes that we use. And then we will have the Q&A session, as Antoinette mentioned. Yeah, all right. First, a little bit about myself. I'm the founder of Brands Whispering. Basically, I have been working in the area of marketing advertising for a long time. And all this time, I've been trying to merge academia with business life. I've started as a marketing academician after completing my PhD and master's from University of Manchester in the UK, and then followed by the professional posts that I had in global companies. I'm also an entrepreneur, having founded some few successful companies. My UK EdTech company is my third company. And also, I've always enjoyed writing, and I'm the author of 13 different marketing and branding books. My first book being published in London in 1992, and which is still being sold at Amazon.com. So over the years, I have developed various traits, and what I've done in Brands Whispering, I've tried to actually put together all those different traits and came up with a new tool called Brands Whispering, which I will be talking about today. First of all, how did the Brands Whispering idea came about? The problem that I've encountered as a marketing academician was that university students are very different today. They're not happy with today's curriculum. They don't want to read thick books, and their attention span is getting shorter and shorter. And also in my consultancy work, I've come across to businesses saying that they're not happy with our graduates. So, I mean, all this, students not being happy with the curriculum and businesses are not being happy with our graduates, made me to think. And I said there must be a different way of teaching where we would be able to get the attention of students in a much better way while teaching them relevant material for business life, so that we can bridge the gap between academia and the business life. So that was how the Brands Whispering idea was developed. It is a new pedagogy, being a web and video-based ebook, but we do not start lectures with theory. Instead, each chapter in the ebook is covered with a video case study. These video cases are scripted by lecturers and narrated by executives in 20-minute videos. They're all real life situations, real life problems faced by companies. And in these 20-minute videos, we try to deliver them in a problem and solution method. Therefore, we use reality learning, dilemma training through all these chapters, which are based on problem and solution method. And the specific theory comes at the end of the chapter and is covered in a 10-minute Q&A session. I value Brands Whispering for a few different traits. One of them, it does create very good storytelling material for lecturers, empowering them in the lecture halls by grabbing students' attention from the very start and maintaining it until the end of the lecture. And while at the same time teaching relevant information for business life. So 3 things: good storytelling material, empowering lecturers in the lecture hall, and teaching students relevant material for business life. Our products are both online and offline, and our aim is not to teach the case, but teach textbook information. I think this is crucial, not to teach the case itself, but teach textbook information. So our products, www.brandswhispering, has been in use since March 2016. It started as a marketing ebook, since I'm a marketing person, as an open access resource in Turkey. Currently, we've got 13 chapters and we're still expanding our chapters. Then, thanks to the Case Center, we had an license agreement with them in 2017. And started producing English versions of our videos. At the moment, we've got 9 chapters with 29 related teaching materials included in the Case Centers collection since May 2018. And again, we're also adding new ones into our English collection as well. At the moment, a team of 10 people are working on both versions, and I would also like to thank them. We might have 1 or 2 of our team members, maybe, I don't know, who are also listening to us. A great big thank you for their support and for making this project realized. I'll take you through the ebook first, just to give you an idea. This is the contents of our ebook in marketing. As you can see, this is the internationally accepted curriculum for marketing, and you could find these chapters in any marketing book. Our difference is that, for example, if you want to teach target groups and segmentation, if you click on that page, it will take you to this landing page. This is the sample page of all our chapters. Here you see a navigation bar at the top, enabling you to go from one chapter to the other. So all of our cases are actually related and make up the different chapters of a book. Here we've got the case synopsis, talking about what the case will cover, together with the theory. In Turkish versions, we've got the PDF version on the same page. Here is the 30-minute video, 10-minute executive videos, followed by 10-minute teaching notes. But if you want to have shorter cuts, we've got 10-minute and 3-minute versions as well. We've also added behind the scenes so that students also get to see what we are going through when we are producing these videos. As I've said, we've got 13 chapters, and in these chapters, we work with international brands such as Carrefour, Diageo, Ford Trucks, McDonald's, P&G, Unilever, as well as some household names in Turkey such as Arzum, Dalin, Enpara.com, Ipragaz, Opet, Vestel. The underlying ones are the ones that we have at the Case Centers collection with English dubbing. Currently, it is being used by more than 70 Turkish universities in 38 cities and by more than 1,000 companies. As you can see, it is throughout the country, also highlighting importance of education for all. We've got more than 12,000 users at the moment in Turkey, and more than 40. This is the general, and 45,000 page views according to Google Analytics. After our cases were added into the case centers collection, we see that we are being accessed by more than 50 universities globally, most of them in Europe and North America. And then also through our website, we are being accessed additionally by 65 universities globally. I see Brands Whispering method as the future of cases, because we know that written cases have long been used in business lectures, but as support material. We use ebook with video cases as a standalone teaching material for entire courses, which are written by lecturers, so that from the very start, we know that these materials are going to be used as teaching material, and they are conveyed in a video format to get students' attention. And research shows, both primary and anecdotal research shows, the data shows that it is working. Because since 2016, we've been taking part in various events in Turkey, in Europe as well. Here you see some of them, and the anecdotal evidence that we collect from lectures, from students, have all been very positive. On primary data side, we got a chance to test our product at University of Ljubljana last spring on international business students. And they said that they found learning process more attractive with Brands Whispering, and they understood the material covered better, and they thought learning with Brands Whispering was easier. We also asked the same students why they like videos in lectures, and they said that it is first getting their attention, helping them to focus better, visualizing the material covered better, leading to better recall. From the very start, we wanted to expand this product idea, even though we've done it for a marketing series. We wanted to expand the product idea to other disciplines of business studies. Therefore, we have partnered with an Erasmus Plus project, and we collaborate. The project is being coordinated by Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium, together with Leeds Business School, University of Economics and Business in Poznan in Poland, and University of Ljubljana in Slovenia. With these 4 universities, we are taking part as a UK SME, bringing in the technical know-how, previous technical know-how. So we are using the same methodology of Brands Whispering and trying to improve it and test it and seeing ways of improving it. That's how actually Brands Whispering became Multinationals Whispering. You can actually, we are at the point of adding videos. You're more than welcome to check our website if you're interested in international business, especially in the months to come. So the grant we got also shows great further potential for the product. Again, if you're interested in the latest, the student to understand lecture and student perceptions for use of video cases in international business teaching, just very recently with our Erasmus partners, we have published a paper based on surveys conducted on lecturers and students. And that was also published quite recently in Journal of Teaching in International Business. If you can actually get full access of the article via this link. Just before I finish, I would like to talk a little bit also about the accelerator program that we took part last year within University College London. It's an accelerator program called Educate, and led by University College London within Institute of Education. If you are interested in EdTech, and I would suggest that you check their website, because what they're trying to do, they're trying to make use of more research in new EdTech products. Because we've actually are making use of our research in our product to improve it. We also got Educate Research Edwards Award at the beginning of this year. Just before I finish, these are the social media accounts that we are using, both for our Markalar Fısıldıyor Turkish version of our product, as well as for Brands Whispering. If you're interested and if you want to see what we're up to, I would suggest that you follow us. All right, now the second part, I will be talking about two cases, as I said. One is Carrefour'sa example, which is one of the videos that we have produced at the early stages of our series. And Axe case from Unilever as a more recent, that is the latest video case that we've produced. So I thought you will also be able to see the standard approach we have. Together with these cases, we will be talking about different types of teaching notes, how we make use of them. I will switch to the video, but before doing that, because the actual video is 20 minutes, and of course we are not going to watch all of it, so therefore what I'll be doing, I will actually just jumping in order to be able to show you the bits that I want you to see. So therefore, I would like to very quickly talk about how the video and what the case is trying to deliver. It is a case on targeting and positioning. Just like all the other cases, we start with a problem that the company faced. In this case, it is Carrefour's stagnant sales and profitability between 2010 and 2013. And in order to be able to overcome that, they decided to redefine their target audience and reposition their brand. In the video, we will see, we will be covering the textbook material on importance of target audience, repositioning the brand, market selection strategies, being global versus local. And also the managing director of Carrefour'sa in Turkey is talking about the recent global trends in retailing, all related with the target audience and repositioning. At the end, he's also giving market results obtained. This is the approach we use in all of our cases. It starts with a problem and a solution and the market results that they obtained. I said we have our cases online, offline, and we've just, as you can imagine, in the case sentence collection, we've got our cases also in a written format. Now I will switch to the video and show you bits and pieces. Let me stop sharing my slides first.
2013, the company had 256 stores in total. However, it started to face problems regarding growth and profitability. Specifically, when we looked at the previous 5 years, we saw that the company had not grown in terms of square meters or turnover, which was static at 2.5 billion Turkish lira, or TL. During this period, when the company turnover was static, our profits also fell. As a possible solution, the shareholders decided that the partner with more domestic market knowledge should have more of a say. On the 8th July 2013, the shareholding changed when the Sabancı Group took an additional 12%, raising its shareholding from 40% to 52%. As a result, the Carrefour Group's shares were reduced from 60% to 48%. So the management of the company passed to the Sabancı Group. This was when I took office. At that point, we had 256 stores and a turnover of 2.5 billion TL, and were hungry for growth. On January 1st, 2015, we had 333 stores. At the beginning of 2016, we have 790 stores in 58 cities. We opened around 456 stores in a year. We did this in 2 ways. We bought some of them, and others were the result of organic growth. There were 250 of these. In retailing.
All right, now I'll jump to the solution bit where he takes us step by step talking about target audience and positioning.
Generally speaking, every business has the same aim: to achieve sustainable profit and growth. This is also our main guiding principle. To this end, we had to redefine our target audience and reposition ourselves according to the expectations of our target audience. We use scientific methods and facts as the basis of all this work. We issued 100 million till receipts in 2014. In 2015, we are expecting a 40 to 50% increase, having sold around 600 million products. It would be impossible to run such a large organization, serving so many people, and distributing this number of products without making use of hard facts. Therefore, we conducted market research to find the right answers. First of all, we tried to find out who our actual customers were. The research showed that our customers were from all socioeconomic groups, from A to E. When we tried to work out who was our target customer, we needed to analyze this in a matrix form because we had different store formats. The second stage was to understand our customers' expectations of us. The third stage was to find out what our customers were expecting from us that we weren't delivering. All this helped us to answer the following questions. Who were our actual customers, i.e., our target audience? What were the profiles of customers shopping with us in different store formats? What did our customers want? And to what extent did we meet their expectations? We also looked at international trends. In particular, after the financial crisis of 2008, brand positioning and store formats started to change worldwide, mainly because the idea of convenience had started to emerge. Because people wanted to go to one place and do all their shopping in the same place. They wanted to minimize the time and money they spent traveling. They would only go out of their way if they believed it would be worthwhile, resulting in a big saving. In general, they did their regular shopping a bit at a time, so they chose conveniently located stores. This is why we recognized that convenience stores were a growing trend. We saw that internationally, although hypermarkets were still alive, they were becoming less important. The first hypermarket, which we opened in 1993, was 14,000 square meters. We realized that there was no longer any need for such big stores. Although hypermarkets were still needed, the optimum size was 3,000 to 5,000 square meters, not more. We also worked on planograms, detailing the format of our stores, mapping the interior down to display stand visuals. Finally, we focused on our brand. We had to position our brand in the light of all of these factors. During this process, we checked with our customers. We asked them which format and which names they preferred. We conducted a number of focus group studies. As a result, we changed the name of our stores.
I'll stop there and then jump back to where he's talking about customer reactions that they got and how they've actually repositioned according to customer information, customer research.
Considered it an insult to their intelligence. We took all this as positive feedback. In the end, it was customers pointing us in the right direction. We asked our customers for their opinions on everything, from our brands to our store names, store sizes, interior layouts, planograms, right down to the images we put on the walls, and we followed their recommendations. We found out from our customers where we were disappointing them, and we tried to improve in those areas. Research also showed that our customers visited a hypermarket twice a month, a supermarket at least once a week, and a mini market or convenience store, on average, 2.6 times per week, or roughly 3 times. We evaluated these visits in a scientific way, informed by research. We made use of this knowledge and also asked them about preferred product groups, brand choices, and stores visited. In short, Our customers guided us in all these aspects, and we positioned and segmented our product accordingly. Here, I also need to mention a global trend which emerged at the end of the 1990s called customer-centric retailing. In the past, we would have organized our processes according to our own internal structures, which may not always have appealed to our customers. We learned that it isn't enough to simply sell goods to our customers. We have to actually position ourselves according to our customers. It isn't up to our customers to position themselves according to us. We are not running boutiques nor selling artisan or unique one-of-a-kind products. Instead, we are running chain stores spread throughout the country for the mass market. So it is essential that we are driven by customers. Therefore, we placed the customer at the center of everything and began to adapt all of our processes and ways of working around their needs. My experience has been that if you take one step towards the customer will come at least 2 steps closer to you.
I'll stop there and jump to the market's results that they got, and then we'll finish off. As you see, we use visual material that accompanies whatever he's talking about, so that, again, that is to be able to capture students' attention.
At the end, we were able to increase our turnover of 2.5 billion TL by 20% in 2014 to 3 billion TL. Whilst doing so, we gained new customers and also increased the average shopping basket value. We achieved all of this by understanding our customers better, listening more carefully to what they wanted, and positioning our brand accordingly.
We finish off always with their logo and also thanking them, including references that we use, and also recommended videos for recommended videos for further class discussion. I'll stop now, and at the end of, after the video, in 10 minutes, we cover the theory that needs to be covered in targeting and positioning in 3 questions. Again, we've got the printed version of those teaching notes at Case Center, which is available. But also we've got PowerPoint in PowerPoint format. These 3 questions I would like to go over so that you can actually see what sort of the mentality behind questioning, because in each of these questions we try to relate it to the case. What is market segmentation important? Why is market segmentation is important for companies? How did Carrefour use market segmentation? Or how do marketing departments decide on the target market strategy after conducting the marketing segmentation analysis? Which strategy did Carrefour use? And when do companies need to revisit their positioning strategies? Please explain Carrefour's approach in positioning. I'll just go over, I mean, these are again abridged versions just to give you an idea, because the aim is not to teach, but rather to tell you about the teaching style. So I'll go over the second question very quickly with these PowerPoint slides. We first talk about levels of different target marketing, being undifferentiated, differentiated, and concentrated marketing. We just mention, explain what is undifferentiated marketing, which is sometimes called mass marketing, what is concentrated marketing, and what is differentiated marketing, and related to Carrefour, saying that Carrefour has used differentiated marketing because they were having Carrefour Supermarket, Carrefour Hyper, Carrefour Mini, and Carrefour Gourmet. And for each of these, they were using differentiated marketing with a different marketing mix. All these are, as I said, in written format, together with PowerPoint slides. With these videos, you can also use, the control is always with the lecturer, depending on how the lecture is proceeding and the attention of the students, you can actually, just play in a different way. For example, with MBA students, role playing can be used. We can also ask students more research on current retailing trends. There could be given a project on being local. What does local mean? More discussion on being consumer-centric and all that. I'm sure you will also have other suggestions. You can also take these discussions beyond marketing and strategic business decisions maybe, and that sort of thing. As you've seen at the end of the video, we also include other videos. If, for example, the lecturer wants to take the class discussion beyond the case, they can always refer to these videos to make the session much more interactive with students, again, also depending on students' needs and wishes. Now I'll go to the second case, which is the last case we have completed. I wanted you to see, as I said, the approach that we are still continuing. The look is the same. Also, the format is the same. Again, we start with a problem and then proceed with a solution. Before I switch to the video, I will just very briefly talk about the problem again and the solution. Axe, as you know, is a Unilever brand, is a male grooming brand, and they've been using a female attraction brand promise internationally for many, many years. They've also launched in Turkey with the same brand promise of female attraction, that females find Axe using men more attractive promise. But then they've realized that globally, under-stereotyping manhood started after 2016, based on various research done in many countries, reflecting on changing consumer expectations. Therefore, also in Turkey, they had to change their campaigning, but they've also used international strategy with a local execution. The case talks about that. Therefore, textbook information covered is basically global campaigns versus local ones, i.e. talking about standardization versus adaptation, evolving brand message through times, Generation Z characteristics as a target group, again with some market results obtained. Again, we have it on offline in a written format in PDF at the Case Center's collection. Now I'll switch back to the video.
Evolving brand messages, Axe.
I'll again jump to the problem bit.
Axe was launched in Turkey in 1986, using our usual global Axe launch campaign. The creative idea for this international campaign was based on women finding men who use Axe more attractive. We have continued with this communication for quite some time. As Turkish society has changed over the years, with sex and sexuality becoming less of a taboo subject in Turkey, we also started using quite extreme creative executions of this same creative idea, which set us apart from our competitors. Part 2, advertising.
We'll jump to the problem bit, solution bit.
And sexuality. As gender equality gained more and more attention over the years, Axe also felt the need to revisit its own communication strategy. As a result, Axe decided to switch to a much softer communication style after 2010. Since our previous advertisements were often considered to have some sexist elements, we began to pay special attention to gender equality, staying away from gender-specific stereotyping in our communications. However, it was in 2017 that Axe had the biggest shift in its communication strategy, taking the necessary steps to alter its global branding strategy and its consumer perception. This change was the end result of market research studies conducted with men. One such study, conducted with 3,500 men across 10 countries in 2017, showed that men were exposed to too many pressures from society. This pressure made them feel obliged to fit in with social norms. As a result, They felt they could not live the lives they wanted to live. Therefore, as a men's brand, we started asking ourselves how we could possibly help to ease this pressure, allowing men to feel free. Part 3, Men Cry Too campaign. As a result of all these market research studies, Axe decided to change its slogan to Find Your Magic. What we wanted to say was that manhood has got nothing to do with being handsome or rich or athletic. Instead, we wanted to say that every man is attractive when they find their own magic and when they start acting like themselves. This creative idea had many different executions across different countries.
I'll jump to use of international campaigns and use of this international campaign and how they've adapted it for the Turkish market.
Different ways across the globe. When adapting the campaign for Turkey, we did not want to make a direct translation because we thought it would just not have the same effect in Turkish. That's why we did some research on the language used by our core target group, aiming to find something which would give the same message to them more directly. We observed that young men use an expression among themselves which can be translated into English as, "What is your thing?" Meaning, what is so special about you? Or, what makes you, you? So in our brand relaunch, we used, "What is your thing?" as our slogan. We also researched the likely pressures that Turkish men face in society and the taboos that they often come across. Then we asked ourselves how we could possibly overcome these barriers and what we could do to make them feel free. We spent a considerable amount of time studying these issues. At the end, we realized that all men were being brought up from a young age with the idea of being strong and staying strong. Being and staying strong is something that all men have experienced in their lives, and they can reflect on this concept very easily. For a man to cry or to show his emotions in front of others without hiding it is not considered to be acceptable behavior. On the contrary, it is believed to be a sign of weakness. We even have a well-known song with the words, "Men do not cry." We started asking ourselves how we could possibly act upon this and give them enough courage to be themselves, reflecting their true emotions. In the end, we collaborated with a well-known Turkish singer, Bonomo, and he rewrote the lyrics and adapted the song to be "Men Do Cry."
I'll jump to the second campaign she's talking about, and again with a local execution. The second campaign is called "Sorry If I Hurt You."
It is rare to hear brands apologize to their own consumers, but we demonstrated this courage in 2018 and communicated a heartfelt apology to our customers. Over the previous year, we had been getting a lot of consumer complaints about lids breaking too easily. So in our campaign, we said, "We heard your complaints about our lids, so we are changing them. Our sincere apologies if we have hurt your feelings." In Turkish, we are able to use a pun as well. The verb kırmak was used for both to hurt your feelings and to break.
This is the commercial that they used. Let's skip that.
Also gave the message much more impact. It was a creative way of addressing both the functional and the emotional problem at the same time. We know that Twitter, especially, is an effective medium for receiving such consumer complaints and responding to them. We had been working on improved packaging for some time, and we were fortunate to have new caps along with our new bottles in 2018. We worked with Bonomo, where he read out loud some nasty tweets we received and answered them in a humorous way, whilst communicating the message about our new improved packaging. This was a campaign where we merged the fun element with a functional message from the Axe brand. In the end,
again, at the end, she talks about the market results, which we won't go into. And again, the format, as you can see, is standard. we, at the end, again, thank them, have references, and also have the video related videos. Again, we've got the teaching notes in print version available at Case Studies, Case Center. Here in this, for the last two cases, we are trying a different approach. Apart from using a written format, our teaching notes, as well as having them in a PowerPoint format. We've added audio on top of these PowerPoint presentations, so that in order to be able to make a little bit easier for lecturers, and also again get the attention of students in the classroom. Again, we have three questions. We covered the theory that needs to be covered. The first question is about adaptation versus total standardization versus total adaptation. The second question is about changing times and what do brands need to do in order to be able to stay current. And the last one is Generation Z characteristics, and how did AX actually use Generation Z's characteristics and incorporated them into their campaigns in order to be able to get better results. Here, I will stop talking now. You will hear my voice, but that is pre-recorded message. You will hear them from audio teaching notes, and that will actually bring us back to we'll just have a couple of minutes, and that will be the end of our session. Then I'll hand over to Antoinette.
Global campaigns versus local ones. AX case. Audio teaching notes. Questions for discussion. Question number 1. Explain what do we mean by global advertising campaigns? What are the advantages and disadvantages of global campaigns? Discuss where we should place AX campaigns on the total standardization versus total adaptation scale. Global advertising campaigns are advertising campaigns which are created by the lead agency of the client, according to the brief written by the client's central organization. These campaigns are created with the idea that they will be used in more than one country, after making necessary adaptations in each country. Global campaigns were especially popular between 1980 and 2000, following the rise of international advertising agencies across the world. Today, we do not see global campaigns as often as we did 20 or 30 years ago. Please discuss why we come across global advertising campaigns less often today. Therefore, if we draw a globalization scale, on one side lies total standardization, and at the opposite side lies total adaptation. Each and every company has to find the right mix for them on this scale. Furthermore, this standardization adaptation mix can change for the same brand from one campaign to the other. It could be so that the same brand can use a totally standard campaign in one instance, then in another campaign they may need to have more adaptation. Therefore, standardization and total adaptation should be a case-by-case decision for brands after carefully considering all the pros and cons. Similarly, we see that AX considering global campaigns one by one and making decisions accordingly. For AX brand's launch in Turkey, an international campaign was used in the 80s. However, as we have seen in the case, 2017 Find Your Magic global campaign was adapted to Turkish as What is Your Thing, and the whole campaign was created all over again with a new execution, but following the same communication strategy. Therefore, we can say that Find Your Magic campaign was closer to the adaptation side on the scale. Question number 2. What should a brand do in order to stay current with changing times? Please explain using the AX example. We know that any brand wanting to keep up with the times should evolve their communication strategy accordingly. Advertising usually reflects the times in which we live in. As gender roles have changed in the society over time, we also started seeing different gender stereotypes being used in advertising. Therefore, just by analyzing different periods in advertising, it is possible to have an understanding about the daily life in any given period. As sex and sexuality became less of a taboo subject over the years, ACS also started talking about sex in a much more open and direct.
I'll stop there and hand over to Antoinette, and then we'll take your questions. I think we were able to deliver what we wanted to deliver. Right, I'll stop sharing now.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Nuket.
Thank you.
I'm about to share my screen just to show everybody how to access the Brands Whispering materials through the Case Centre's website. While I'm doing that, I know we have one question from Fabienne in the chat already that Nuket will respond to when I finish talking. But if anybody else has any questions for Nuket, now's the time to pop them in the chat if you've not already done so. And we'll come back to those when I've finished showing you how to access the materials. Okay, so hopefully on screen you should now be able to see our website. Now, the first thing to do when you're looking for materials is to make sure that you're logged into the website, because this will give you full access to the educator level of privileges. So you should be able to log in using your email address and the password that you used when you were registering for this webinar. So I'm going to start on the Brands Whispering case collection page, and I'll make sure there's a link in the follow-up email to the collection page for you. On here you can see some general information about the collection, but also there's a link here to view all the items from the Whispering case collection. So I'm just going to click on that and go through to our search results. Now, the other way that you can find the materials is up in the top right of the website by using the search facility that we have. So you can either search on keywords or you can search on Brands Whispering as a term to find all of the materials. So that's the other way you can find them. Now, once you have the search results on here, you can see there are 29 products in our database from Brands Whispering at the moment. And as Nuket and her team produce new materials, they get added. If you want to narrow down your search, you can do so using the refine button here. So you could add a keyword like Carrefour. You can also resort the list. So at the moment it's sorted by most recently added, but you can search for different things in here as well and resort your list. Actually, with 29 products, it's not too bad. You can generally browse through without needing to resort. And the other thing you can do is filter the list. So if you want to specifically look for the videos or to look for a specific topic, you can filter your list in that way. So I'm just going to narrow it down based on the product description at the moment. So to isolate all of the different videos that we have in the system. Okay, so the top one here is the ACS case, the most recent one that Nuket just showed you. So you can see on the search results that you do get some basic information about the case. You can access the preview of the video from here. And if you access this, you download the full version of the video, but it has a big watermark over it and it's a lower quality. So it does mean you can watch the video to decide whether it's the right thing for you to use in class, but it shouldn't be used in class with your students. I'm just going to click on the title to go through to the full details of the product. So as you can see on this screen, we get a bit more information. So we can see the teaching and learning objectives for the case. And what I should mention at this point is that if any students log in, they can see the basic information. So they can see the abstract about the case and the topics, but they can't see the learning objectives. They can't access any preview copies, and they definitely can't access any teaching notes. Those are for educators only. We can see the topics that the video covers here, and if we click on related products, you can find all of the other materials that are related to this video. So you can see here you've got the teaching note, you've got the teaching note software. Now this is what Nuket just showed you. It's the PowerPoint file, and you can download that for free, and you can hear the audio version of the teaching note. And you can also click to go through to the paper version of the case. You'll find a preview copy of that there as well. So if I just go back to the video, there we go. Now what I wanted to highlight here for you is how to order them. So if you preview the video and you like it and you want to use it in class, you can add it to your basket. You'll see here the pricing. So we have the sterling price. It may be, depending on where your location is, that you'll see a price in dollars or in euros. It depends how your organization is set up on our website, but they're all comparable prices, just in different currencies. And this is the price you pay to download the video. You can then use that video in class with all of your classes. You don't have to purchase it for each class. This price covers you to use it with all of your classes and to project that and show it to all of your students in those classes. What you can't do is post the video on your VLE, and you can't share it with individual students. It does need to be used in the classroom with your students. You can also, from here, view the teaching note. So that's a PDF that if we click and download it, hopefully it should just ping to the front of my screen and you should be able to see the full text of the teaching note. Let's just close that down and I'll just go back here. So I think that's all I really wanted to show you in terms of how to access materials. So I'll stop sharing my screen for now, and we'll go back and Nuket and I will pick up any questions that you guys have asked. So I think there's a couple from Fabienne there, Nuket.
Yes. Fabienne is asking whether our learnings from, let me just read the, Fabienne is asking, I'm reading his question. He says, you mentioned that you have all cases also in written format. What are your key learnings from converting video cases into written cases? What we first do, we don't, I mean, those are not actually, videos are not ad hoc videos, or they are not, we write those scripts. Those scripts are written first. So you have to think them as first writing these cases as if we are writing them, normal, usual cases. And then we share with companies and ask the company executives to explain the case in their own words. So from the very start, before the video shoot, we know exactly what they're going to cover. So it is not like, you know, they're not talking about their anecdotes, this and that, because we want to stick to a teaching material from the very start. And they also know this and they've got this understanding. Therefore, it starts as a written case and then turned into a video case. Not the other way around. It's not like, you know, we do the video shoot and then decipher it and put it as a written case. I hope I have, you know, answered your question, Fabienne. He got another one. Fabienne says, how do you go about finding cases and companies through your network? First of all, you know, just as all lecturers do, you know, keeping a good track of what's going on in the marketplace and trying to locate good cases. I mean, because not all companies can actually produce good cases that can be used in the class. Therefore, they have to have something good to say, you know, something significant in order to be able to be used in the class. Therefore, if we, for example, if we know that Carrefour is going to be a good case, then we approach them, asking them whether or not they would like to take part in this project. And if they agree, then they share the information, we write the case, and then all the rest goes along. Yes, partly network, because, you know, having worked, I guess, having worked in this sector for so many years has got one or two pluses, and one of them is good network, I guess. But apart from that, we're also trying to do it, for example, in different countries through our Erasmus Plus project. Again, our partners are also approaching companies who've got different stories to talk about, and that might also be useful in the class environment. I hope I have answered. If not, please say so.
Okay, so I think that's all the questions so far. And we're spot on 11 o'clock, which is perfect timing, which is brilliant. So unless anyone else has any more questions at this point, I'd like to thank you all for attending, and we really hope that this has been useful for you. We'll be in touch tomorrow with an email to give you a link to the recording of the video. There'll also be a link to a feedback form. So we'd really love to hear your feedback, to hear what you thought of the webinar, what you enjoyed, what you think we could improve. We're always looking to improve what we're offering. So we'll be in touch tomorrow with that. And thank you very much, Nuket, for sharing all of your information with us. It's been really informative and useful. So thank you very much.
Before we go, I would just like to add one more sentence, and that is I'm actually seeking to check my product with more universities. If any of you is interested in collaborating and using these cases as part of your lecture material, and then checking on students' reaction, I would really love to do that. So if you are interested, please let me know, and then hopefully we'll pick it up from there on. Thank you very much, Antoinette, for all your help.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Nuket. And thank you all for attending. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.